Hello everyone. Today I'm sitting with architect Sheila Prakash, and she is the founder of Shilpa Architects Chennai. We know a lot about her, and she has a background of 32 years of experience in architecture with various disciplines of interior design, landscape, construction and management, and a lot of other things. Let's know more about Shilpa Architects from Sheila and touching the current projects that she's doing.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here with you today. Vertiga, it has been a lovely experience interacting with you. As an architect, I started Shilpa Architects in 1979. We have grown, and right now we are having our offices in Pan India as well as in New York and Seoul, and we are doing international projects as well. We have been doing projects for the housing industry primarily. We are doing works for the hospitality industry, and we are doing some colleges and institution campus planning. We do township planning where we are master planners, and we take up end to end, like right from architecture, master planning and landscape architecture and interior design for projects that we do. Because I think that having a holistic view for any project is much better for the project, because there's a continuity, there's a thread, a common thread that links one to the other, and this is what we've been doing. Well, some of the projects that we are handling now are we are doing a resort for the Taj group of hotels in Pondicherry, which is a beach resort, and we are also doing work for the hospitality industry. We're doing a lot of retrofitting works for Meridian and other hotels, GRT, etc. The most important and satisfying part of my work has been the design of housing, because I think it deals with people and what people require. And I have done a lot of research in how people react to space. So where you have your physical requirements, but then there is something more, a psychological requirement of space that is required for people to develop as individuals. And this is something that I have done of my own. And I've also worked on cost-effective housing, which is for the people of our country, that the underprivileged people, where most of this is a voluntary work that we have done, and we have created what is called a concept for incremental housing. So where the person can have a roof over his head on day one, and he can value add slowly as his purse allows. Yeah, to add on things which can be added on later. So you have a roof, typically a shelter is a roof over your head. So you have roof over your head as soon as possible. So this concept and concepts of flexibility in housing, and where the diversity factor is taken into account, the day usage and the night usage, and space optimization, all these things have been done. I was actually I'm part of the World Economic Forum, so I have created what is called as the Reciprocity Design Index, and this index is a matrix, is a template which guides people through to obtain holistic design. So as I was telling you, the holistic design means not only looking at the ecological factors and issues, but also the socio-economic, cultural and ecological together. So when you look at it in totality and with tools that are available, like technology available, you do the design. So there are many stakeholders in the design process. If you take the city planning, if you take a planning of a city, it is not only the end user that matters, but it's the people who develop it, the people who maintain it, the people who work on, the different generations who live on it, and the different multi-income groups that live in it. So each one's requirements cannot be the same, and each one's priorities cannot be the same. So in the reciprocal design approach, we look at everybody's requirements and priorities and try to develop a system which answers and which is totally inclusive. So this is a thing that I had done in the World Economic Forum, and actually I was invited to be part of the Olympic infrastructure by the Prime Minister of England, the recent Olympics, Paralympics Olympics, and in that I have worked on. We tried to do. Kind of work on the temporary systems, because to make a thing holistically sustainable, you cannot put your capital into everything that is required for the Olympics as permanent. So we looked at the temporary concepts and the permanent concepts. So where the temporary concepts can be removed out after the games and only the permanent stays. And which is, the size of the permanent structures are such that it can sustain continuous use and can be self-sustained. So, and what these buildings or these, like the velodrome, what it could be used for, what else it could be used for, and the housing, how much of housing is required. But what we did was there was no compromise on the infrastructure. Like the train station was completely designed to, take you in 6 minutes to central London. So all that was done. So I think the regeneration of Stratford is, been a lovely thing that the Olympics has got for England. So these are. I was also at Tianjin recently for the New Champions Summit by the World Economic Forum, and where I had to talk. I was a part of a panel which discussed the urban-rural divide in India and how art can play a role. Art and architecture can play a role in the urban-rural divide. Yes, it is. It was very interesting, and it kind of culled out various, innovative approaches to using art to achieve your social and cultural needs. And I'm one person who believes that public spaces have to be designed in such a way that it kind of empowers the public. So today in all our cities we find that the roads are getting widened, and the roads are getting widened at the cost of the pavements. But then so people do not have even place to walk, let alone bike. So these are issues that are facing India today, and these are challenges. And I find that this multi-stakeholder involvement and a collaborative effort in design is what is required to solve the problems of our city's growth today.
The temporary structures that you're talking about that you've done. Okay, so how are these temporary structures, when they are not in use, how are they disposed of, or how are they reutilized?
No, actually the temporary structures were, like for example, the stadium that was done by Zaha Hadid had a permanent component and also had a temporary component. So the temporary component was removed once the games was over. So what happened is it's only the permanent component which was there, which was designed optimally so that it could be used always.
Okay, so those things were going together, the permanent and the temporary and all that. You are known to be, using the principles of various kinds of music and dance to architecture, right, as an art form. So would you just tell us more about this thing, or tell us about the projects that you've done considering or thinking about incorporating art and architecture, or music and architecture, or maybe dance and architecture, as I know, you are a musician and you are a Bharatanatyam dancer as well.
See, I have been a dancer. I think I started at a very early age, so I love the art form because I think it gives a certain personality to the people. And also I think that it has helped me to visualize, because as a dancer you visualize a setting, and then you put in the characters, and then you portray the characters. So this kind of visualization has helped in design, because even in design you have to visualize the spaces. And this apart, I think the parameters of dance and architecture, like line, symmetry, harmony, rhythm, they're all common. So music and dance has been a very intrinsic part of my development of as an architect. How I have used it, I have a great respect for all artists, being an artist myself. So I know that in India we have an abundance of art and craft, and I find that they are not being given their due respect. And there are many of these craftsmen who are, villages of craftsmen with, 2-3 generations of them who are languishing in poverty when, our so-called country is progressing and, has a very good growth rate. So I think they should also be a part of our success story because they have so much, they are so rich in what they do. And I think as architects, we are responsible to include them in our growth story. So I do try to include carvers, wood carvers, stone carvers, people who do pottery work, weavers, etc. in all my projects.
Which are the projects like we can see this kind of the rural influences or the art influences? Which are your projects?
Almost, I try to include them in most of my projects. See, even vernacular technology of brick, how people built with brick. So these have also been incorporated in many of my designs. And I have done houses with this. I have used the Chettinad tiles, which is a very low technology tile, which I think I showed on this thing also, a red colored tile. It's beautiful. And I have used a lot of stone from the Pallava architecture into one of my housing complexes, which also won an award called the Pallava Heights. And I do it as a continuing process. So wherever I can, I try to include. Yeah.
Very nice talking to you, and I wish you all the best from the team of Surfaces Reporter, and continue doing the good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.